So that was my first time home buying experience, and I was excited living in this neat little house, calling it my own, got my real estate license, was doing property management and things like that. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, guess what happens? My parents and everybody decided, we're going back to California. We're going. I was like, oh, great. I just bought a home. I'm going to be the only one left up here in Alaska. I'll be a lonely man, and it can be cold in the winters up there, long nights, no family. Okay, so buyer's remorse was over, right? I already own the house. Okay. So guess what? My sister comes to the rescue again. So she comes to the rescue, and this is kind of neat. A military guy had bought the house across the street from me. Retired military guy, really nice man, and he was retired, and that was it. This was the home that was his last home he was gonna buy. Well, his buddy was another military retired guy, and it's a military town up in Anchorage, Alaska. There's Fort Richardson, there's Elmendorf Air Force Base, and so this military guy had come back, and they wanted to live next to each other right there for the rest of their lives, buddy. They had been through 2 wars together, and they didn't really care about any other houses except they wanted to live right across the street from each other. That was their dream all along. Well, I had bought the house that he wanted. Okay, well, my sister says, well, guess what? Things have kind of changed with our living situation, my brother, and I think we might be going back to California. We've got this wonderful little house at the end of the cul-de-sac, the exact one that you want. And he said, okay, I'll buy it. And of course, my sister's a good negotiator, so she said, $103,000, does that sound good? Sure, I'll pay $103,000 for it. Okay, and so all this is going behind the scenes. I'm still back at my house pouting, going, what am I going to do? My family's leaving and all this stuff. And so she comes and she says, I've got a solution. He's going to pay $103,000, and he's going to pay cash. So there was no need to worry about a loan or the appraisal or anything like that. It didn't really matter to him. He wanted to be there with his buddy, and that was his last home, and that was the motivation for buying. Him and his wife, they all knew each other for years and years and years, and they bought that house, and they paid $103,000. So $72,000, and I sold it 6 months later for $103,000. That's that's first time home buying. I'm liking that, and I was able to go back with my family to California. And so that was the kind of the story of that first time home buying. All this fear and trepidation, and it was all solved when we just helped somebody else with their dream. Their dream, these military guys, was to live together for the rest of their lives across the street from each other. So kind of a fun story that I talk about that. Now, what I do wish is that I still had that house.